It was brutal how I dumped Josh. I practically destroyed him. Years later, successful and with a gorgeous girlfriend on his arm, he showed up at our high school reunion. I arrived fashionably late, and his girlfriend raised her glass to me. "Thanks for dumping Josh back then because he was broke," she smirked. "Otherwise, I wouldn't be the CEO's girlfriend now." I chuckled lightly. "No worries. Have a toast of my own." "Sorry I'm late. I had a blind date." Josh's hands spasmed and his wineglass shattered on the floor. As I opened the door to the private room, everyone stopped talking and stared. My heart skipped a beat when my eyes met Josh's. 7 years had changed him. The skinny, lanky teenager was now tall and built, his features sharp and defined. Gone was the tenderness in his gaze, placed by resentment and something hurt. He had his arm around a beautiful woman, and after a brief cold glance at me, he looked away. His girlfriend sized me up with a distinct look of a woman checking out her partner's ex. I figured they'd already dissected my history with Josh before I arrived. The air was thick with awkwardness. Someone broke the silence. "Amy, the reunion's been going for a while. What took you so long?" I nodded apologetically. Glancing around, I saw every seat was taken except for the one next to Josh. Everyone watched and anticipating some kind of drama, probably wondering if I'd sit next to him. I strolled over, unfazed, and grabbed the empty chair. The knowing smirks intensified. They were probably picturing a dramatic showdown between the old flame and the new girlfriend, fighting over the guy. Josh shot me a quick look, his jaw tense, then quickly looked down. His girlfriend, sensing his tension, gave me the cold shoulder and possessively tightened her grip on his hand. I didn't get it. What were they so nervous about? I simply picked up the chair, turned, and placed it across from Josh. "Excuse me," I said to the person next to the now empty spot. "Could you scoot over?" After I sat down, I raised my glass. "Sorry, everyone. My date ran a little late." That's when the glass shattered too. Josh froze for a second, then, as if nothing had happened, calmly asked the waiter for a new glass. People started teasing me about my date. "So how was he? Marriage material. What does he look like?" Someone blurted out. Is he as handsome as Josh?" The room went silent as they realized their gap. Everyone looked at me, then nervously at Josh and his girlfriend. Josh snuck a glance at me. When our eyes met, he quickly looked away, his face a mixture of curiosity and something else I couldn't quite place. I broke the silence. "He's pretty cute." "He's a doctor," I continued. "As for marriage, we'll see." Josh's knuckles turned white around his glass. His voice was cold and sarcastic. "How much does he make a month? I thought you were a gold digger." A doctor, really. His tone was laced with bitterness, like he was still holding on to the past. Still blaming me. Back then, we'd planned to go to UCLA together. I didn't get in and ended up going to a local state college. I was about to tell Josh when his mom showed up at my door. "Amy, No, you didn't get into UCLA, please. I'm begging you." "Don't tell Josh. He's crazy about you. He'll give up UCLA to stay with you. I worked so hard to get him where he is. Can't let you trap him in a small town." She handed me a debit card. "There's $5,000 in here. Consider it compensation. Let me be clear. You will never be my daughter-in-law. I won't allow it. You will ruin him with your love." She was crying practically on her knees. I said, "Mrs. Miller, could you give me some time to think about it?" That night, she texted me a picture of a kitchen knife. The message read, "If you don't break up with Josh, I'll kill myself." Terrified, I texted back, "I'll do it." I thought breaking up with Josh would be enough, but his mother wanted me to play a role. This scene was set at the airport the day Josh was leaving for UCLA. Holding the debit card, I said, "Your mum gave me $50,000. "We are done," Josh laughed, stroking my hair. "Very funny. Come on, we're going to miss our flight." I pulled away, my face cold. "I'm not joking. I'm not going to UCLA with you. Your mother gave me $50,000. That's years of work I don't have to do now. Thanks to you, I'm set." His laughter died, replaced by tears. He grabbed my hands, panicked like a child caught doing something wrong. "Amy, what did I do wrong? Tell me. I'll fix it." His mother appeared and pried his hands off me. She doesn't love you, Josh. Can't you see she's a gold digger? She's not, Josh yelled at his mom, then turned to me, his eyes red and pleading. Amy, please don't leave me. Kept repeating it over and over, his eyes searching mine. When he saw I wasn't reacting, he dropped to his knees. People at the airport started staring and whispering. He crawled towards me, clutching my clothes, desperate. Amy, I'll make so much money for you someday. Please don't break up with me. I'd never seen him so broken, begging like he had nothing left. I knew if I stayed there any longer, I'd cave. I pushed him away, shoved the card back into his mother's pocket and said, I love money more than you. I walked away, the sound of Josh's heartbroken sobs echoing behind me. I'll make so much money for you. Please don't leave me. 3 Amy, Earth to Amy. My classmate nudged me, pulling me back to the present. Josh's girlfriend Melanie is toasting you. I looked up, so her name was Melanie. She raised her glass again. So thanks again for dumping Josh when he was poor. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be dating the CEO now. She arched an eyebrow. Oh, and I heard you took $50,000 from his mother to break up with him. Nice hustle. Bend it all yet? If you need more, I'll have Josh give you some. Consider it a beggar's handout. The room went silent, everyone staring at me in disbelief. Whispers started. Oh my God, she's such a gold digger. No wonder, Josh said. She's obsessed with money. She's shameless. Josh stood up, putting his arm around Melanie, glaring at me. Honey, don't waste your time toasting a gold digger. She doesn't deserve it. I wasn't angry, just tired. I'd carried the label of gold digger for 7 years. I'd done my time for his mother. I pulled up my phone, opened the text thread with his mother's threats, and calmly placed it in front of him, for the room went silent. Josh's brow furrowed as he read the messages, the colour draining from his face. Melanie, peering over his shoulder, went from smug to confused. The whispers began again, this time directed at Josh and his mother. Josh looked up at me, his eyes a mix of shock, disbelief, and shame. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Tears welled up, spilling down his cheeks. After a long moment, he finally spoke, his voice trembling with a strange mix of accusation, vulnerability, and hurt. Why do you always lie to me? You lied about going to UCLA with me. But Amy, UCLA was your dream, so I made it mine too. He swallowed hard, a bitter laugh escaping his lips. You don't know how to love someone. Just like that scene you put on at the airport. You think you're being kind, but your kindness is just pain. Just torture. Josh rolled up his sleeve, revealing a deep, jagged scar on his forearm. He told me he hadn't wanted to live after that day. The scar was a stark reminder of the damage between us. Hasn't too wide bridge, I'd never wanted to get back together just to clear my name. I stood up, took my phone, and deleted his mother's messages. In front of him, I met his gaze. It's over, Josh. I truly wish you happiness. His face paled. What do you mean it's over? He asked, slowly enunciating each word. Exactly what I said, I replied. As I grabbed my purse, I noticed the shift in everyone's expressions. They were looking at me with a newfound respect, like I was some kind of martyr who sacrificed her own happiness for Josh. Someone had even started writing a dramatic fan fiction about us in the group chat, titled High School Sweethearts Reunite. He's a Silicon Valley CEO. She's struggling after years of false accusations. Will they rekindle their love or tear each other apart? Like, for more? They even tagged us, adding, let us know if we got anything wrong. I sighed. These people. I have to go, I announced. Catch you guys later. I glanced at Melanie, then at Josh. Your girlfriend is beautiful. Josh froze, his lips moving like he wanted to say something. His eyes were filled with hurt and abandonment, like I was leaving him again. Just as I opened the door, I ran into my date, Sam, Amy, Dr. Evans. The door swung open, giving Sam a view of the room. High school reunion? He asked. I nodded. Sam blushed slightly. Why are they all staring at me like that? I turned to look. They were practically glowing. I just heard Amy call him Dr. Evans. That's her blind date, someone whispered excitedly. He is cute, so refined. I started to close the door when I saw Josh's face. His jaw was clenched, his eyes burning with an icy glare directed at Sam. It was unsettling. I shivered and slammed the door shut. Turning to Sam, I apologized. Sorry about that. He smiled. It's fine. Can I give you a ride home? I hesitated. The matchmaker had said he lived downtown and I lived uptown. Wouldn't that be too much trouble? He chuckled and shook his head. No trouble at all. I'm going that way. That way. I thought he lived downtown. I shrugged. Okay, thanks. I waited outside while he brought his car around. A moment later, 2 cars pulled up, the windows rolled down, and 2 voices said simultaneously, Amy, get in 5. Both Sam and Josh got out of their cars, opened their passenger doors, and looked at me. I'll take you home. I was wondering what Josh's deal was when he turned to Sam, his voice tight. You just met Amy, and you're offering her a ride home. What, are you planning on holding her hand tomorrow too?